हेलो एवरीवन। आज हम पढ़ेंगे क्लास 8th हिस्ट्री का चैप्टर नंबर 3 रूलिंग द कंट्री साइड। इस वीडियो में हम क्वेश्चन आंसर्स को पढ़ेंगे। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं वीडियो को। वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर्स से। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, व्हेन डिड द मुगल एम्परर अपॉइंट द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी एज द दीवान ऑफ बंगाल? आंसर, ऑन 12 August 1765 the Mughal emperor appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. Next question, which settlement was introduced during 1793? Answer, permanent settlement was introduced during 1793. Next question, who were appointed to collect rent and pay revenue to the company during permanent settlement? Answer, zamindars were appointed to collect rent and pay revenue to the company during permanent settlement. Next question, who devised the system of Mahalwadi? Answer, Hort Mackenzie devised the Mahalwadi system. Next question, what was the conclusion of permanent settlement at end? Answer, permanent settlement got failed. Next question, who initiated and developed the Rathbari settlement? Answer, Captain Alexander Reed initiated and Thomas Munro developed the Rathbari system. Next question, name the two systems adopted for growing indigo by the cultivators. Answer, Nij and Royati were two systems adopted by the cultivators. Next question, what is meant by Mahal? Answer, Mahal means village or groups of village. Next question, what was the aim of the company after getting Diwani? Answer, after Diwani, the company aimed at administering the land and organizing its revenue resources, and this was done in way that could help the company attaining enough revenue. Next question, what was the difficult task for the company to be done? Answer, the company needed to pacify those who ruled the countryside in past, so it was difficult task to eliminate entirely the past rulers of the countryside of the company. Next question, what led to minimize the bringing of gold and silver by the company for trade purpose in India? Answer, revenue which was collected from Bengal was sufficient for the company to purchase goods for export, so the company started reducing getting gold and silvers for trade purpose. Next question, what was the biggest drawback for zamindars in permanent settlement? Answer, failure of payment of revenue resulting in loss of the zamindari was the biggest drawback which zamindars faced in permanent settlement. Next question, at the time of introduction of permanent settlement, who was the Governor General of India? Answer, Charles Cornwallis. Next question, who was William Morris in the 19th century under British rule? Answer, William Morris was a famous poet and artist. Next question, by whom was the Morris cotton print designed? Answer, William Morris. Next question, by whom was the Kalamkari print was created? Answer, by the beavers of Andhra Pradesh, Kalamkari print was created. Next question, define famine. Answer, extreme scarcity of food is termed as famine. Next question, what was common in Kalamkari and Morris cotton print? Answer, in both a rich blue color common by known as indigo was used. Next question, define the term indigo. Answer, indigo is a plant that produces the blue color that is rich and is used as dye. Next question, what is meant by bat? A large tank or tube used to hold liquid, especially in industry. Next question, Who were Gomastas? Answer: the agents of planters. Next question: who were the Lathites? Answer: Lut, welding strongmen maintained by the planters. Next question: what the role played by women in the cultivation of indigo? Answer: the role was to carry the indigo plants to wets. Next question: during the Mughal rule, what was the status of the Diwan? Answer: during the rule of the Mughal Empire, the Diwan served as the chief revenue officer of a province. Next question: what was the outcome of the Blue Rebellion? Answer: after the Blue Rebellion, indigo production collapsed in Bengal. Planters shifted their operation to Bihar. Short answers. Question number 1: define Mahalwari system in short. Answer: estimated revenue of each plot within village was added up to calculate revenue which each Mahal village had to pay. Revenue demand to be revised periodically. Headman of Mahal given charge to collect revenue. This is what Mahalwari system was. Next question: where was the indigo cultivated by the English and the French? Answer: the indigo was cultivated by the English in Jamaica and French used to cultivate it in Saint Domingo in the Caribbean island. Next question: define the following terms. Plantation, biga. Answer: plantation is an estate on which crops such as coffee, sugar, and tobacco were grown. Biga, a measuring unit of land area varying locally. Next question: briefly describe the system of permanent settlement. Answer: under this system, Rajas and Talukadars were recognized as Zamindars and they were asked to collect rent from the peasants and pay revenue to the company. The amount that was to be paid was fixed permanently and was not to be increased or decreased in future. Next question: what were the drawbacks of niche cultivation? Answer: the drawbacks of niche cultivation are the planters found it difficult to expand the area under niche cultivation. Labor force was not easily available. Niche cultivation on a large scale also required many plows and bullocks. Investing on purchase and maintenance of plows was a big problem. Next question: what were the findings of the Indigo Commission? Answer: the Indigo Commission was set up to inquire into the system of indigo production. The commission declared that the planters were unfair and that the farmers were not paid enough for their toil. The commission also stated that in future the farmers could refuse to grow indigo plants and the planters did not have a right to force them. When did the Blue Rebellion break out? Answer: Indian farmers rebelled against being forced to grow indigo plants. In March 1859, thousands of ryots in Bengal refused to grow indigo. This was known as the Blue Rebellion. Next question: give a brief description of the methods of producing indigo dye. Answer: the indigo leaves were fermented in a steeping bed, then the liquid was extracted and oxidized in a beating bed. Finally, a blue precipitate was allowed to form from the liquid in a settling bed. This precipitate was collected, dried, and compacted. This dried compacted material is the indigo dye. Next question: what were the main features of the Rayati system of cultivation? Answer: under the Rayati system, the planters forced the Rayats or peasants to sign a contract. The village headman was also forced to sign an agreement on behalf of the Rayats. the peasants received a loan from the planters to cultivate their land. Due to this, the peasants were forced to cultivate indigo in 25% of their land. The peasants received seeds and plows from cultivation from the planters. They had to cultivate the crops and harvest it. The harvested indigo crop had to be given to the planters. Next question. What were the main features of the niche system of cultivation? Answer. In the niche system of indigo cultivation, the planter produced indigo in the lands that he directly owned. He either bought the land or rented it from other zamindars and produced indigo by directly employing hired laborers. Next question. What were the disadvantages of the Rathbari system? Answer. The revenue fixed by the British officials in the Rathbari system was too high for the farmers. The farmers who were unable to pay the revenue left the farms. As the farmers left their farms, the villages in the region wore a deserted look. Long answers. Question number 1. Briefly explain two following questions. Explain the two systems adopted for the cultivation of indigo in India. What did the British realize about the countryside? Answer. The two systems adopted for the cultivation of indigo by cultivators were Nij. In this process, cultivator produced indigo on the lands which were under their control. Rayati. The planters forced ryots to sign contract and agreement satta. They also pressurized village headmen to sign contract on behalf of ryots. This is how the two processes of cultivation of indigo took place. The British realized that the countryside not only yielded revenue, it could also grow crops that Europe required. By the late 18th century, the company was trying expanding the cultivation of opium and indigo. Therefore, the British persuaded and forced cultivators in various parts of India to produce other crops. Next question. What was Monroe system and what happened in conclusion after Monroe system took over a wide area? Answer. In British territories of South, the new system that was devised came to be known as Rathbar or Rathbari. Tried on small scale by Captain Alexander Reed in some areas that were taken over by the company after the wars with Tipu Sultan. Subsequently developed by Thomas Monroe, the system was gradually extended all over South India. There was absence of zamindars in South. Therefore, it was argued that it had to be made directly with the cultivators, ryots, who had tilled the land for generations. Monroe thought that the British should act as paternal fathers figure to protect the ryots under the charge. The conclusion was not well as driven by the desire to increase the income from land revenue. Officials fixed too high revenue demand. Peasants failed to pay ryots, fled the countryside. The villages became deserted in many regions. Therefore, a complete failure of the Monroe system, also known as Rathbari system, happened during that time. Next question. Why did the British want to grow the indigo plant in India? Answer. The indigo plant grows primarily in the tropics, and this was the primary reason for the British to turn to India for the growth of indigo plant. By the 13th century, Indian indigo was being used by cloth manufacturers in Italy, France, and Britain to dye cloth. The demand for Indian indigo grew as European cloth manufacturers wanted only Indian indigo as it produced a rich blue color. Due to this demand, the price of Indian indigo rose in the European market and mediated the British to grow more indigo in the Indian soil. Another reason was the industrialization of Britain, as this resulted in the expansion of cotton production, creating an enormous new demand for cloth dyes. Indigo production in other countries began to decline, and the demand for Indian indigo increased in European countries. This demand made the East India Company to expand the area under indigo cultivation. Next question. What were the areas of conflict between the Bengal Nawab and the East India Company? Answer. The Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy and refused to grant the company concessions. They demanded large tributes for the company's right to trade. They denied the company any right to mint coins. They stopped the company for extending its fortifications, accusing the company of deceit. They claimed that the company was depriving the Bengal government of huge amounts of revenue and undermining the authority of the Nawabs. It was refusing to pay taxes, writing disrespectful letters, and trying to humiliate the Nawab and his officials. These were the areas of conflict between the Bengal Nawabs and the East India Company. Next question. How did the assumption of Diwani benefit the East India Company? Answer. The Mughal Emperor in 1765 appointed the companies the Diwan of the provinces of Bengal. The Diwani allowed the company to exploit the vast revenue resources of Bengal. This solved a major problem that the company had earlier faced. Although its trade had expanded, it had to buy most of the goods in India with gold and silver imported from Britain. The overflow of gold from Britain stopped after the assumption of Diwani. Now, revenue from India could finance company expenses. These revenues they used to purchase cotton and silk textiles in India, maintain company troops, and meet the cost of building the company fort and offices at कलकत्ता. इसी के साथ ही ये वीडियो कंप्लीट होता है. हमें कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताएं कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा. वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें, जिससे आपके पास तक हमारी लेटेस्ट वीडियोस या आने वाली वीडियोस के नोटिफिकेशन पहुंचते रहें. धन्यवाद.